What's good, YouTube? Shout out to all the fellow human beings out there, and thank you for tuning in to the Viewturistic YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing Viewology episode number 5, and it's called Feel the Fear But View It Anyway.
I'm Mike J in your foxhole till I have a seat spin. Sit a pretty ass in this Benz behind a dark tent. You in the presence of extravagance. Settle down, Cuban link chillin'. Freezing on my textile, watch match my sentiments. How could you slumber like I gave you number coke in these quotes? Like I'm running numbers, styling with the Jews. Shot slam, holocaust, busy chasing money, no time for the blues.
My concept behind that is talking about not letting fear control your life and not allowing it to take a strong hold on your process towards progress. Look at that, I should be a rapper. We're going to talk about making sure that when fear arises in your soul, when fear arises in your heart, that it is not the determining factor on whether or not you decide to move on and go on and be successful. Some personal things in my life when fear arose and I second guessed myself on whether or not I had what it took to be successful is school. That is, I talk about that a lot, but it is such a monumental moment in my life that I like to touch on it a lot because it can transcend into many other things in life. There were many times when during my undergrad career, during my grad school career, even deciding to go to graduate school, I just had this fear of whether or not I was good enough to be in the classroom amongst those other scholars in there. Sometimes I felt like, do I actually belong here? And I would look around and realize that some of those people probably thought the same thing. And I don't know how many of you are hip-hop fans, but the Notorious Big song that said, people bleed just like us. Well, he don't really say people bleed like just like us, but you know what I'm saying. That is one thing that I grasped in my mind. Once I started to understand that they're human beings, just like we are, that allowed me to not let the fear control me, and it gave me the confidence to move forward and be successful. Another thing that I feared was the actual feeling of success. Because you know, when certain people reach a certain level of success, there's a lot of pressure on them to continue being successful in whatever it is that they're doing. And I would fear getting to that point of success, second guessing myself if I had what it took to surpass that level that I've reached where people recognize me for what I was doing. But eventually I did not let that fear control me, which leads me to where I am today. I did end up finishing graduate school. I did end up getting the career that I want, and I've been able to move on to do other things that I'm very passionate about, which, you know, this being one of those. Another thing was actually relocating from the city that I grew up in. Most of you know that I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I relocated to Las Vegas. And before that move actually took place, there was a great amount of fear in me because I just didn't know what to expect. It was the fear of the unknown. And the fear of the unknown is one thing that gets a lot of us. If you don't know what's on the other side of whatever it is that you're doing, it's natural to be scared of it because you just don't know what to expect. You don't know if it could be the best decision that you ever make or it could be the worst decision that you ever make. But, you know, in life, no risk, no return. And actually coming out here to Las Vegas was probably one of the best moves that I've ever made because it took me out of the environment that I was comfortable in. It's all about me growing outside of my comfort zone. There has never been a time in my life where I've experienced growth inside of my comfort zone. It's all about looking past that comfort zone and growing beyond that because it forces you, it puts pressure on you to really determine, for you to see how good you actually are and push yourself to the test. And if you can make it through that, then all you're doing is creating another comfort zone for you to grow outside of again. And you just keep moving above and above and above each comfort zone that you set. And you cannot do that if you allow fear to control you. Another one of those things that that fear can sometimes conquer is trusting people. I know a lot of us have trust issues, whether you want to admit it or not. People have trust issues, and a lot of it has to do with past experiences. You might have been heartbroken before. Someone might have abused your trust because you thought they were loyal and they weren't. Whatever the case may be, but you cannot allow that fear to hang over your head. Otherwise, you won't be able to build bonds with anyone. You cannot let that fear hold you from moving forward to forge relationships with new people because you never know who you're going to meet next. If you are holding on to or being resentful to past things and you are scared to open up to other people, you might pass up on the greatest opportunity of a lifetime because you were letting something from the past control you and you were letting that fear prevent you from going on to forge those relationships. So that's another area where you cannot let fear conquer you. So what it really boils down to is not allowing fear to control you from making your dreams come true. Your dreams can consist of many of the different components that I already talked about, but the biggest thing is just believing in yourself. Believe in what it is that you want to do, because only you know deep down inside your heart what you want your future to be. And that's what it's all about. You just having that belief in yourself and not letting that fear control you. Now, I'm not telling you to ignore the fear. You just have to harness that fear, and you just have to understand that it's going to be sticking with you, but it's about transcending that energy from negative energy into positive energy and allowing that to motivate you and drive you to make your dreams come true. Just imagine for a second if the Wright brothers, they're the ones who were responsible for pioneering airplanes. I'm pretty sure that was a scary as hell experience for them to take some wood or whatever they were making planes out of back then and saying, hey, I'm gonna put this up in the sky and fly. People probably looking at them like they were crazy. People feared it, they feared it themselves, but imagine had they not overcome that fear and went ahead and did it anyway, there would be no planes today, or it would have been invented a lot later. We wouldn't be as far along in airplane technology as we are. Or the person who invented the telephone. If imagine Alexander Graham Bell back in the day saying, hey, I'm gonna invent something where I can talk to someone who isn't even here. That had to be a scary feeling for him to even expose his vulnerabilities to people like that, because I know people thought that he was crazy when he came up with that. And had he not overcome that fear and went ahead and done it anyway, we probably wouldn't have these, which, as most of you know, these are attached to our hips now. Everything that we do is based off of this, and that all traces back to someone overcoming their fear to do something. So that's pretty much it for today's episode, Viewology episode number 5, called Feel the Fear But View It Anyway. Until next time, we will holler at you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please comment in our comment box below if you have any questions, if you want further topics to be discussed, if you want me to go more in depth on a certain topic. You can always email us as well at our Gmail account, which is jacob.joshua8488@gmail.com. And until next time, we'll see you. Oh, this is fight weekend, so we are turning up this weekend out here in Las Vegas. If you're not here, you're missing out on plenty fun, but I'll be sure to let you know how cracking it was next time we talk. Peace out.